Hello, intended,
Hey.
and welcome to the Week 15 podcast. I'm your host, Eric Zaleski, back with you again with Brent Mansfield.
What's going on? We're back.
You can find him on social media at bman60.
I only tweet about 3 different things, so.
We're back, 5-week hiatus, or almost a 5-week hiatus.
Pretty much.
We're coming to you on a Saturday here, middle of the NFL football games. Figured this was a good time to fire up a quick podcast. We know it has been a while. We apologize. I've been out of town a little bit, and we had a hard time connecting just before then. So
we're back at it. We've connected.
We have, and we're going to basically just come in, touch all the bases. It's going to be a brief one today, as we are at halftime of the Kansas City New England football game.
And at the 16-minute mark of the third, the 4-minute mark of the third period of the LA Sens game, in which my boy Jonathan Quick's about to get another win. And we might come back against your squad to give it its first loss of the year.
Right. At this point, we'll give you guys a little show of our setup here. It's a pretty nice little setup we got going on. We have, as Brent mentioned, on the smaller screen, the 55-incher. We have a very dull King Sen. And then up on the screen, of course, Patriots and Chiefs. So we're enjoying ourselves here. So we'll have our eyes up to our right. That's because we were watching the TVs. But let's get right into it. Brent, how you doing?
I'm great, man. How are you? How was your holidays?
Holidays were fantastic. It's good to be back. It's good to...
It's kind of sad it's over. You know, it always goes so fast. And, you know, it's the most wonderful time of the year. And they say, you know, when you're having fun, time goes fast. So...
Yeah, absolutely, and a lot of stuff
sucks. Really
a lot
sucks.
of stuff has happened since we've last been with you.
We got a lot of freaking trades to talk about.
Well, there has been a lot of moves in this Intent to Injure league. I have accounted for 7 of them.
You have a little bit of a problem.
I've admitted I'm a trade addict. Actually, after our last podcast, I believe, was when the big trade between you and I went down.
That was that was our little inside GM meeting. That was actually pretty good.
Right, so we basically, as soon as we had signed off the podcast, I said I had wished that we had kept the camera on because we sat here and went back and forth. I was supposed to be shooting over to TGI Fridays, if my memory serves me correct, to meet my father for dinner. And I had him waiting over there at the table as me and you sit here and try to hash out a deal.
We had pen and paper, scratching people's names down, and it was quite the trade talk.
It was, and I believe the final deal there was Kyle Okposo and Justin Falk for Tyler Seguin. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Really, I wish we would have kept the camera on because it was back and forth. It was intense. Almost every player at one point was discussing.
I think every player in each roster had a say in this trade.
But
we had some good goaltending talk going on. I mean, at one point, this was like a 2-for-1 trade, but we had a trade where there was 4 players going each way, 3-4 players each way.
Right, and it's always fun to take part in trade talks.
Yeah.
Obviously, we'll see how the year kind of plays out and to see who wins that trade. It's still a little too early to tell.
Yeah. Like I said before, Sagan's, he didn't like the trade. He doesn't like the new scenery. Sagan. His production's going down a bit.
Don't worry about Tyler Seguin. That's all I have to say.
I guess I could say about the same about Justin Falk too, because
Falk has slowed down a little bit as well.
Yeah.
We also made another trade.
We did.
It was Duncan Keith and Brandon Saad for Brent Burns.
Brent Burns, man.
Brent Burns just keeps on keeping on.
You see that goal he had against the Maple Leafs last Saturday?
I don't think I saw it.
Man, he's a defenseman. Comes through the neutral zone, just puts it between Kadri's legs, and then one-on-one with Phaneuf has this power move, and just goes backhand and then forehand and top. A 16th goal of the year, and this is a defenseman.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
For my money right now, with everything he's done this year and some of the previous seasons, you can make a case that he's the most offensively talented defenseman in the NHL right now.
Oh, I mean,
there's certainly a few guys that would have something to say about that, but
yeah.
Brent Burns has been excellent. I was happy to acquire him. Brandon Saad and Duncan Keith haven't been bad for you either.
No, they haven't. I mean, and what I liked about Saad too is because my left winger's hurting. The only left winger I had was Marchand. So I needed a left winger, and the thing about Saad too is he can put him in right wing too, which helps. And then you know what, Duncan Keith's not a bad defenseman to get back in return either.
No,
So-
and I actually came to the realization just this past week that I had traded not one, not two, not three, but 4 Chicago Blackhawks players, and they're all seemingly on the
You had
score sheet
Taves
every
too,
single night.
right?
I had Patrick Kane,
Yeah, you had Patrick Kane,
Jonathan Taves, Duncan Keith, and Brent Seabrook. And
That's
man,
basically the Chicago Blackhawks All-Star team right there.
right. I've had them all at one point. We haven't talked about the big trade actually involving Patrick Kane, and I did want to get your thoughts on this. Patrick Kane for Alex Ovechkin and PK Subban. Your thoughts on that? My deal with Robbie Wright.
Well, I was just about to say, let's see how many fantasy leagues have Patrick Kane getting traded this year. How many people would actually trade Patrick Kane? But with the problem that you have, yes, Patrick Kane would be traded. But I mean, he's still putting up points. I mean, he had a hat trick last night again. I mean, it's unbelievable. But I mean, honestly, I think you just make trades just because you like making trades. I mean, you don't make stupid trades, but even if you might get, and I'm not saying you lost the trade because you got Ovechkin and PK Subban, even though Subban, they only 2 goals this year.
He does have 25 assists.
That's true. He does have 27 points. That's not bad for a defenseman, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, the names that get tossed around in these trades are something else.
Nobody's safe. Let's say that.
There's nobody safe.
Absolutely nobody's
Patrick
safe.
Kane, Tyler Seguin.
Unless you're on Jake Boss's team. If Jake Boss has, a 5th-string goalie while he's sitting there with 3 defensemen, still he won't move anybody.
No.
Boss, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. He's sitting there. He's honest to God. Right now he has 3 defensemen and 5 goalies.
Why he has
4 goalies. 3 defensemen and 4 goalies.
Why does he have 4 goalies?
For one, and the Senator scored over to our right here with this Bob Ryan. And they're back in a 3-2 hockey game. Anyways, I can understand having 4 goalies. I cannot understand not having minimum 4 defensemen to fill your complete lineup.
So
on any given night, Jake Boss cannot set a full lineup. That is a disadvantage.
Well, maybe that's why his team's the record it's at.
Yeah, now we'll get into this week so far.
You have 4 goalies. Trade it. You have Lundqvist, okay? I'm not saying trade Lundqvist, but I'm sure
he is Ben Bishop.
Ben Bishop. All right, you could get a solid defenseman in return for Ben Bishop. There are many. I'll talk Ben Bishop with you straight out. I have freaking Cam freaking Talbot on my team, the Edmonton Oilers in that matter. I will trade talk with you, but I've done it many times, and you just can't do it with you, and I just don't understand that.
It's ridiculous, and it's trying to. I mean,
it's unbelievable. It's
You're
unbelievable.
literally talking to a wall when you talk to Jake Boss in regards to trades. I mean, literally, I've exchanged texts back and forth, and he just does not understand.
You gotta be shitting me.
And the Ottawa Senators, remarkable, have tied the hockey game at 3. They're dancing in the celebration. Unbelievable. 2 quick goals led up by Jonathan Quick. And it would be a real shame to own John Quick right about now.
Yeah.
Ottawa's tied the game at 3.
Jean-Gabriel Pajot.
Bitch.
Great guy.
But Jake, I mean,
who was that? What defenseman was that? Jamie McBain. Oh my God! Nice defensive play, you jerk, asshole.
Wow, he got caught.
This game's fixed. It's rigged. He did that on purpose. Look at that. We gave it right to him.
And how about that? So, anyways,
Thought it was Luke Shen.
we got away from the topic at hand a little bit.
All right,
Jake.
sorry. Yeah, Jake. I don't know what to say.
Now, I mean, real quick, we'll jump to the standings. As we talk about this. I mean, I've texted Jake back and forth.
I think everyone in the world could text him, and it's just it's unbelievable.
So Jake's currently 3 games out of a playoff spot. At what point do you want to make a move, Jake?
I mean, it's not the first week of the season anymore. It's It's almost mid-January.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a month and a half left. Yeah. I mean, we have how many? There's 24 weeks of the season, I think. So
Yeah,
we're well over the halfway point. I mean, 3 spots out is a decent amount to overcome when you have the guys in front of you continuing to win as well.
Right.
So I think maybe you need to swallow the pill and make a trade.
Well, and he's sitting 6th place out of 10 right now. And it just makes no sense to me. It makes no sense. He keeps telling me he'll get back to me and we can talk down the road.
Yeah.
And he's he wants something. He's just not a reasonable person to talk trades with. I've offered him. I've sent the league's most premier defenseman, who I've offered up 2 of those for Lundqvist at one point, which would make a ton of sense for him, given that he has 4 goalies and basically no defenseman. The defenseman he even has stink outside of like 1. I think he is.
He was
Jake, are you kidding me?
He kept feeding me freaking Anton Strawman.
Nobody wants Strawman.
And then he wants freaking I don't know I forgot who he wanted, but it was one of my best players. He won't take Giroux because he's on the Flyers. He won't. That's just stupid because he's on the Flyers.
You know what? That's fine. That's fine, Jake. You can just sit and rot away at the bottom of the standings. I've had enough. I'm done.
I'm done too. But if you still want to talk Ben Bishop,
yeah.
But guess what? I'm not trading you. Well, I won't trade. I'm not trading you freaking Justin Falk, Duncan Keith, and who was one of my other top goal scorers? I don't know. But I'm not trading you 4 of my top players for freaking Ben Bishop. But if you want to sit down and have a normal trade conversation, by all means, I'm in.
Oh, well, I remember offering him Duncan Keith for Ben Bishop. Something along those lines, right?
Yeah.
He says, I don't want Duncan Keith because I already have Brent Seabrook.
Yeah.
No, you idiot. You take Duncan Keith, one of the league's best defensemen, you plug him in there, and now you got 4 solid D.
Yeah.
In that scenario, you keep Lundqvist, you have 2 other goalies. That makes you all around better, and you're able to get more points throughout the course of the week.
I mean that Justin Falk trade. I had Justin Falk and Brent Burns going at one point.
This is great. Now the NFL game's back, and we haven't even we've been just ranting about.
See what you do. See what you're.
F off, Jay. F off.
I'm sick of it.
All right, let's jump into it right now. Let's get into the league standings.
All right.
Catch everybody up there, and then we'll go into this week's matchups, and we'll call it a day.
All right.
No surprise here. I said it. As you asked, what week are we in? If anybody doesn't know what week we are in, I have a real quick solution for you. Click on the standings tab, and then look under the W column next to Talkit's book service. That will tell you what week we are in. They currently tell you it's week 14. They're 14-0.
Well, it's week 15.
There's been 14 weeks. It will soon be 15 when it adjusts.
Listen, man, you're gonna. All right, you can go 24-0 or whatever, 26-0. That doesn't mean shit. What matters is those playoffs.
And I agree with that. I mean, the undefeated record is cute now. Trust me, if we could, we'd fast forward to the playoffs. Like the New England Patriots to my right. This is all cute and nice. We did this last year. 20-3 record last year.
Is that what you had?
Yeah, but when the big game came around, we didn't win. And for me and for my team, we recognize that, we own that, and we understand it's really this whole season is going to come down to 2 games.
So what makes you a different team this year than last year?
Well, right now it's health, and knock on wood. Last year, the only reason I lost was because I had 5 or 6 guys down due to injuries in that championship week, and that killed me. If I have half of those guys, I lost by 4 points, and I was missing 5 guys who you would consider NHL All-Stars. So I was really 1 guy away from winning that week. I don't want to make excuses. Credit to Mendelson, who got the job done when it needed to get done, because there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Fact of the matter is, 14-0 is beautiful. It's cute. I'll take that number 1 seed right to the intent to injure playoffs. But unless we win those 2 games when we get there, you can forget about this season. So that's all I want to say there. We won't spend any more time. Let's jump down, and let's give a little bit of credit to Panarin and Brett.
Yeah, they're the good team.
And Kurt Ott, he's 10-4. I don't know if you knew this. Kurt Ott actually won my fantasy football league this year. So nice little fantasy season going on.
All right, there we go.
Kurt.
Yeah.
Speaking of Panarin, holy hell.
Is he a player, huh?
So I was at Penn's Hawks, when was that game? A couple weeks ago, maybe.
Yeah.
And
last week.
I was talking to my brother Ben, who's currently sitting down on the floor along with Mr. Fawcett to my right.
Who? Shit.
And I told Ben, I said, this Panarin guy, like Anisimov, he's just kind of a product of Kane, right? And Ben said no. I call it points by association. When you have lesser players playing with a stud, you get points by association.
Chris Kunitz. Pascal Dupuis.
Much like my amateur career with Fawcett, I would just get points by association. Thanks to Mr. Fawcett.
Quite the compliment over there for the Shawha Panthers GM.
But Ben said no. I mean, this guy's the real deal, and you could tell within the first few shifts just the way he was, even the way he was receiving passes. You were like, whoa! And I was laughing because he plays a little bit like Kane. And then you see his face; he looks a little bit like Kane. I mean,
the color hair, yeah. He has like the same, different hair.
Bizarre.
I know, but he's a great player.
It's fucking weird. It's creepy and it's weird.
Maybe he is. Maybe they're cloned. Maybe cloned. There's a Russian
Well,
clone of
weird.
Patrick Kane.
It's weird.
But that line of Anisimov, Panarin, and Kane. I think combined for 57 goals I heard so far. There's 57.
That's unbelievable. And you mentioned Patrick Kane.
50% goals.
Hard to believe Patrick Kane
That's unbelievable.
getting his first career regular season hat trick last night. I
Is
saw
that something?
around.
Yeah, I had to read it twice.
Yeah, I did as well. I was actually in the air. I was airborne, wheels down.
Oh yeah.
And I was I paid the $8 over at Southwest to buy the internet, and I was kind of scrolling down my Twitter feed and was stunned to see first career regular season hat trick.
It's unbelievable. You think he'd be did that his rookie year or something?
Right,
you
yeah.
know?
But yeah, the role he's on and that line's on, very impressive.
The Hawks just this.
They're winners of like 10 or 11 straight now, and Kurt getting a little bit of reaping the benefit.
The benefits
from
fruits.
The fruits of that labor.
Yeah. Let me just say one more thing. Sure. A lot of talk about the Russian scouting and the Penguins. The Hawks getting Panarin and the Pens getting Plotnikov, and it's just a swing and a miss there for the Pens.
And I was asking somebody, how does this all really work? Do you understand the process that they go through? How do the Blackhawks end up with this guy, and we end up with essentially a pylon cone?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't even. That's a 4-minute power play for all, so that's good. I don't even know why is Plotnikov still in the lineup. Does he? I don't think he scored this year. I don't think he has one goal.
He does not.
What does he have? Like three assists in 42 games? Is it because the money they paid him to come over, and is that why he's still here?
I don't know what he's making.
He's making like $4 million.
Are you kidding me?
No, he's
not making $4 million. So we're gonna look it up right now. I will note
they paid a decent amount of money for him to come over.
I will note as I look up here, I only have 21 minutes of battery left on my laptop, so now down to 20. So we got to keep that in mind throughout. That's definitely not how you spell his name, but I think I'll call. There it is. So we're looking into Sergei Plotnikov. I didn't even know his first name was Sergei, I don't think. Contract. Just to see where he's at. If he's getting paid $4 million, that's ridiculous.
3.78 million.
Wow.
Says it right there.
How do you commit that much money to a guy that you really haven't seen play in the NHL, or that you haven't seen play in the NHL? I mean, that's absurd.
We'll carry a 3.78 million cap.
Wow. And the potential earn.
Well, he's not going to get those performance bonuses, obviously.
So he has the potential to earn $2.85 million in performance bonuses. So he's really not getting all that 3.78 with.
Oh, okay, all right.
So that makes a little bit more sense. But I was getting a little concerned there.
But still, I don't even know why. I mean, even what he's getting paid right now is. I mean, paying him $10 is overpaying this guy because he just doesn't. You can't see him.
I would agree with that.
He doesn't even know he's there.
Dropping down to the third place team, and that's you.
That's me.
Your new team name, Dick Grote.
A throwback, a very big throwback for the Buccos.
And you're currently sitting at 9-5 in third place in the standings. Any comment there from you?
I mean, kind of. We've been mediocre as of late, very inconsistent. Just inconsistency is the name of the game. My goaltending situation's a disaster, an absolute disaster. I don't know what I was thinking during the draft. That I don't think I even knew I didn't have a goaltender round 9, and goaltenders went pretty fast this draft, and I didn't realize that. I mean, I do have Jonathan Quick, but some odd reason I thought Ryan Miller would be a great addition, and obviously I drafted Jonathan Bernier again.
Well, Brent, I will say I have 4 goalies currently, and I'd be more than happy to talk with you. But let's keep it moving. Let's real quick, and we'll get get a little head start here on the matchups. I'm playing you this week. We made a wager, as we almost always do.
We have a lot of wagers.
You said that you would beat me.
Yeah.
I laughed at that and said I'll beat you by double digits.
I mean, double digits. That's 10 points. So it's not like it would be a blowout. If you beat by
10 points is.
It's not a blowout.
If you win by 10 points, it's a convincing win. Anyways, you doubled down on this today, trailing by 23.5. Coming into today, you said we put another wager. Let's do $10. See who wins.
No, you said put the other wager on.
Right.
Because you asked me if I was confident if we're coming back, and I said, yeah, I'm confident. The boys, what am I going to say? I'm the general manager.
He's not very confident. He's getting his ass kicked. I just wanted it on the record that we do have $35 riding on this game. The total line, Eric, minus 23.7 points. Scores!
Son of a bitch! Son of a bitch!
The Ottawa Senators have rallied! Woo! You gotta love it!
That's my goaltending situation. Well, I can't complain about Quick. He's been one of the best goaltenders in the league. This freaking what the heck!
He's failing you when it matters most.
Oh my
With $35 on the line, he's failing you.
What is that? I mean, when they get a defenseman clear the net, the LA defenseman suck!
He snapped, folks. He's gone off the deep end. Transitioning. Let's finish the standings real quick.
You suck, LA defense! Oh, yeah, Zabinajad. You Zabinajad.
Currently occupying the final playoff spot, the Drunken Pucks, Griffin Bergman at 9-5. Now, just on the outside looking in, the champ.
I know, look at this.
8-6, and he actually has a 2-game lead that jump from 5th place to 6th place. I will mention with the champ with an 8-6 record just outside. And I know you as well. You guys are both waiting for Carey Price to return. That will make a big difference, and don't be surprised if the champ makes a little late push.
Hey, Mendelson, if you want to, talk a little pricey,
I'll tell you,
by all means.
The fact that
he has been on the IR for a month.
He's been on the IR for 2 months.
Oh, basically, because he came back for like 3 games.
Right. So, that being said, the fact that Mendelson's held on this long, it's going to be expensive price for Carey Price. In 6th place, we mentioned Blake Wheeler, Jake Boss, 6-8. Make a deal, you stiff.
I just don't understand. Like, he stays with the same players, and I don't understand. I'll take credit to you. You're 14-0, but it's not like you stuck with the same players the whole time.
No, you can't. You can always improve.
You can
always improve.
He's the lost cause. Go on.
King of quarter zips.
Ravita,
he's checked out.
Oh, checked out.
The last update we've seen him. He's now taken up UFC, which is a new hobby.
Oh, that's right. Is you going to be on one of those pay-per-views? Like, I'll go watch your Buffalo Wild Wings or something. I'm not paying $20 to get in. That's bullshit.
Well, I saw. It looks like he's a professional photographer for his UFC thing. I saw some filters, some stuff up on social media, so he's getting pretty serious about it.
All right.
So look out. But he's
gonna fight that. What's that lady name?
Ronda Rousey.
You're gonna fight her.
But ultimately, it looks like he's lost some interest in.
Are you allowed to do that? Is that like against UFC rules?
That is against UFC rules.
Oh, is it?
You cannot fight the opposite sex.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, obviously she's not like.
Okay.
I mean, obviously she's not like fighting like a normal woman. She's,
That's true. I mean, he and any of us would get his ass kicked by Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, so it's not like. I guess the other UFC male fighters are better competition than us too. So
that's true as well.
Yeah.
So jumping down now, we are headed to 8th place. Madonna Autogoal 95, who's gotten struck by the injury bug. 4 guys.
Why does he start? You getting the trade talk, yeah?
Yeah, I've made a couple deals with him this year, so I know he's willing. But he's sitting at 5-9 in 8th place. That's Johnny Zaleski, and he needs to get some guys healthy. Plain and simple as that. Down to 9th place, Yager's Peanut Butter.
I don't know, Robbie. Are you still clocked in here? Are you tuned into Fantasy? Because I actually just a couple days ago sent him a little trade offer. Never heard back from him. I'll give you a little detail. I had my boy Robbie Lou back in there. And before I forget, I know we're crunched on time, but everybody last year laughed at me about the Florida Cats. Florida Panthers, oh, Brent, you're stupid. They're not going to be a good team. This is one of the best teams in the NHL. The hottest team in the NHL. The Florida Panthers, I'm sorry I was a year early, okay, but I picked that team, damn it, and they're going to the playoffs. They're going to the Eastern Conference Finals this year. They're not going to make the Cup. They're going to go to the Eastern Conference Finals this year. Led by one of the best goaltenders ever, Roberto Luongo. Yes. Bobby Lou, my boy.
So, I'll give you the credit
for
calling the Florida Panthers. You mentioned you were a year early.
Mm-hmm.
I profited off that.
You did, yeah.
As the kind of stand-up guy that I am, I'm here to congratulate you and say you were maybe the only person that saw the Florida Panthers kind of turning the proverbial corner. And, they've obviously had a lot of success this year. I couldn't help but hear just a moment ago you saying that they're going to make the Eastern Conference
Finals. They are making the Eastern Conference Finals.
And what kind of a man would I be if I didn't put a wager on that?
I'm up for it. Give me $50.
50 straight up?
50 straight up. They're making the Eastern Conference Finals. No, not straight up. We'll do
50 to win.
What's your likelihood?
I'll give you 50 to win 80.
You're at still.
50 to win 80.
50 to win 80. Let's
All they
go
have to
Cats,
do
baby.
Is make the Eastern Conference Final.
That's all they have to
If
do.
they can get in the Final Four,
If they get swept in the conference final,
you win.
I win.
Okay.
Do they know about our bet about the Arizona Desert Dogs?
And that was your team this year.
That's my team this year. And guess who is on a roll, baby? Those Arizona Desert Dogs. Let's go. I'm just.
They did get lulled to sleep today against the New Jersey Devils.
I mean, a lot of people do get lulled to sleep too.
I'll take the victories where I can get them. Brady to the end zone. It's Gronk. It's touchdown.
And this game's over.
New England.
This game's over.
Yeah. So and then lastly to the final, bottom of the standings. He's here right now.
You have anything to say, Fawcett?
Nothing to say about that league.
No. Nothing.
He has nothing to say. Again, if you are checking into the Zaleski Fawcett household, on the surface it looks not bad. We have a respectable 500 record together, 14-14 overall. But we won't get into any further details. He reserves comment at this time. The other man down here, Ben Zaleski, knows a little bit about
former
that.
GM of the league.
He knows a little bit about that as well. With 10 minutes remaining on my laptop, battery power.
Let's get it going.
Let's jump into the scoreboard this week.
Oh boy!
Currently, Eric leading Brent 102-75.
Give it to Jake Boss. His team's going off this week.
I'm gonna say he will always tell me whenever I point out, hey, you're out of the playoffs. He says, yeah, but I have like the second most points in the league.
That's huge for me though, because Bergman, that's huge for me. He's 9-5 too. So
yeah, so that score 134-55. Jake Boss blowing him up and running away with that one. Currently the week high by far. The champ Sam Mendelson taking care of Colin Fawcett. That score 87-25.
Just Fawcett, for your information, your leading scorer this week is Sammy Vatanen.
With 10.
With 10, yeah. Respectable.
He's intrigued by it.
Was not aware he was on.
We have Kurt on.
Holy smokes.
Absolutely dominating John Zaleski. Kurt
Holy smokes.
117, John 21. Almost a 100-point lead in that
Holy
game.
smokes.
And there's a
John,
lot of
he
fun
couldn't have
games.
been setting his lineup this week, John.
I hope not, for his sake. I hope not. But he might have checked out with these injuries.
Oliver Ekman-Larson with for Panera Bread. Really, wow, 20.8 for defense. Good grief.
A member of your Desert Dogs. And lastly, we have Austin Revita with the 74-53
Is this the
lead
oh, sorry.
over Robert Wright. So,
that's
of course, these games still going on. It is Saturday evening. A full slate of games about to start.
Most of these games are
decided. Let's give a win to Talkins Book Service.
Oh,
Blake Wheeler, the champ, Panera Bread, and King of Quarters.
No, I think John's gonna have a big comeback.
I bet that record goes 6-0. What I just said. So those are your winners for this week.
King of Quarters versus Yager's Peanut Butter is the who gives a shit about this game. That's like the Tuesday night NBC game.
That's true.
It's like, it's like Jets versus, I don't know.
Yeah.
Jets versus, I don't know. Wild, yeah. No, actually, that's the divisional game, so that some people do care about
Only
that.
you would know that.
It's Jets versus, I don't know, Stars. That's a conference game.
Real quickly, as we're getting ready to sign off here, I want to get your thoughts on the Pittsburgh Penguins trade. David Perron, the guy that you were so high on and drafted in fantasy hockey this year, has been basically released from the Penguins, along with Adam Clendenning and Carl Hagelin from the Anaheim Ducks. Your thoughts?
I think Clendenning was actually probably the bigger piece in that trade, honestly, for the Ducks.
I was a little surprised to see the Penguins move that much for Carl Hagelin.
Yeah, and Carl Hagelin, I think Anaheim wanted to get rid of that salary. He's getting paid a nice $4 million. I saw that. It sounded like a 4-year, $16 million contract with the
large contract. The Penguins can certainly use his speed. I'm not sure he brings much else. At this point,
he was a Penguin killer in the playoffs, though.
He was, but at this point, the Pittsburgh Penguins are in a bad place, and
they don't have the play. They're out of the playoffs.
No, and the way they're trending, I would be surprised to see them in the playoffs. Quite frankly, not in a good spot. Your Canadians are sliding as well. So we've been in better positions.
Oh, the Habs! I mean, jeez, it's just awful. And then we trade, and then speaking of trade talk, I know we have 6 minutes left. All right. What did they just? Jared Tonordi, all right, yeah, he's been up and down from the AHL. for I don't know Elliot. What I don't know Victor Barkley from the Desert Dogs, and John Scott. We traded for John frigging Scott.
That may have been a ploy, though.
That was
to
a
get him out
ploy.
of the
That
All-Star.
yeah, I know. Which is a shame. It's something an NHL would do.
Empty net,
That is-
offside.
Oh my God! There's only 24 seconds left in this game.
So it looks like Jonathan Quick's going to get
4
the
goals on
loss.
22 shots. Yeah, take a dumb penalty, Smith.
No, Smith got hit.
Really? Oh, Drew Doughty in the middle of it.
Um,
I'm not a big fan of Drew Doughty.
I love him.
I mean, he's a good player. It's something about his
He's
way he
like
goes about
a
himself.
combination of Carlson and Letang put together.
Yeah.
but anyway, we're going to wrap it up
Yeah.
here for Week 15. Best of luck to the remaining games, even
Well,
though
that
they're
was a
basically
quick
decided.
half hour.
I apologize for the distracted podcast. We have a lot going on. This was the only time we could fit it in. We hope to be back with you here either next week or the following week. We'll catch you up. We'll kind of get back in the normal routine a little bit.
We're gonna have to try to get this at least once every 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's the goal for the rest of
We
the
had the holidays, you're away, this and that. We'll definitely get back into it.
Absolutely. So
Absolutely.
thank you for joining us here on the Week 14/15 podcast. The Senators score the empty net. They win.
That's bullshit.
It's been nice being with you guys today.
Go,
great
everybody.
week.
Go, have a good week. Happy New Year.
Take care.
It's bullshit.